Welcome back to Doc Oil Talks Comics, guys. In this episode, we're going to do a greatest hits video, and we're going to talk about Fantastic Four issue number 12, the first fight between the Hulk and the Thing. And here you get Stan Lee scripting and Jack Kirby artwork in that explosive Marvel style from the Silver Age. We're now a year into the Silver Age at this point, so we've gone from 1961 to 1962. And some army men find Ben Grimm, and they think that he is the Thing, he's the Hulk, and so they go to hold him down, but it comes to find out that the Hulk has supposedly been creating all sorts of havoc, and there's a character that's working with Banner, and he steps out and runs into the Thing and the Fantastic Four. And that ends up coming back because that same character later on captures, let's see, where did that go? It was back here somewhere. Oh, he ends up capturing Rick Jones, and he says, so you're in league with the Hulk. Well, now I'll be able to destroy him as well as Banner's Project 34. And so there's been a character in the shadows named the Wrecker, and nobody knew who the Wrecker was. And that character from earlier was named Carl Court, and he's a communist, and he's taking all of this information back to Russia with him. So through that, he's going to try to take Rick Jones out. And the fight between the Hulk and the Thing is kind of, it's overblown, in my opinion. It's great to see these two characters meet because Ben knows he can take the Hulk, and the Hulk just wants to smash him. So it's classic like that. But it's not just the Thing versus the Hulk. The entire Fantastic Four is involved here. So, I don't know, it's always been built up that it was a classic and it was the first meeting of two Titans, but I would have loved to have just seen an all-out, full issue brawl. A couple of years ago, well, a long time ago, in Hulk 24 and 25, Thunderbolt Ross sent the Hulk after the Abomination because he played with Banner's emotions about Betty being trapped because she got a massive dose of radiation, so they had to put her in cryogenic storage until they could find a way to heal her. And issue 25 was nothing but a fight between the Hulk and the Abomination the entire issue. And that's what I would have loved to have seen here. Not saying that this is not a classic, but not for the reasons that are on the cover. I just don't agree, and sometimes you get covers that grab you for, stories that don't exist. I'm not saying this doesn't exist, but I'm just going to say that it knocks it down a peg for me because it's not quite the story that you get where you're just going to have these two beating the heck out of each other in a cave somewhere, in a cavern. So, a really good ending to the first year. And like I said, one thing you can tell is as things go along, Jack Kirby's version of the Thing and Reed Richards and Sue Storm and Johnny Storm all become more solidified. He knows what they look like now. He's been drawing them for a year rather than just random here and there's. So you get to see all of that, and you also get to find out that the Hulk wasn't even the bad guy in the story. There's this giant robot, and Ben smashes it with one, single punch. So, like I said, this is still one of Marvel's greatest hits overall, but it just doesn't tell the story quite the way that you would expect from the cover. So, but hey, if you want a Hulk and Thing fight, this has got it. Because it is, after all, one of the greatest hits of the Silver Age Marvel series. So thanks for watching, guys. I know this was a little bit shorter one, but to be honest, I was a little disappointed that the fight didn't last longer. I'm not going to harp on it anymore. If you like it, you like it. But overall, it's still very important to the Marvel storytelling, the Silver Age world that Jack Kirby and Stan Lee and Steve Ditko and John Romita and Wally Wood and all of these other great creators were trying to build out. So, Fantastic Four, issue number 12, Facsimile, hands down, one of the greatest books of all time.